Hey listeners, welcome back to the MDS Guru podcast. This is Melinda again. Today is our last episode of 2025. Listeners, I appreciate you all, and I'm so glad you've been here. We're going to move into a different format as far as the frequency of our pod starting next year. I'm not sure how often we will do one. We will do it at least monthly. More often if Iowa or Missouri does something crazy with Medicaid, or if CMS does something, or if I have a lot of questions or the same kind of problems happen to several homes, then we will do a podcast then. Otherwise, it will be monthly. We've enjoyed doing the podcast for you. But without further hesitation, let's talk about today's subject. Look back periods for the MDS. Did you know there are so many? Let's start with A0310E that asks if this is the first assessment since admission. The look back is the most recent admission, entry, or re-entry. Same with the A2400. When was the last Medicare Part A covered stay? Again, you're going to look back to the most recent admission, entry, or re-entry. For Section C, the BIMS interview is to be conducted during the 7-day look back. Staff assessment lasts 7 days, if you have to do a staff assessment for that interview. The PHQ 2 to 9 is a 14-day look back. Same way with staff, and you do include the day of the interview or the ARD if you're required to complete the staff assessment of residents' mood, which is PHQ 2 to 9. E1100 is behaviors compared to your last MDS. You're going to look back on your last MDS to see, what was there. On E100 through E1000, you're going to mark that according to behaviors that have been experienced in the last 7 days. On Section F, that is the 7-day look back. H0200A is urinary toileting plan. And that is back to the most recent admission or readmission or the most recent prior assessment. Section I, diagnosis identification, signed in the last 60 days, active in the last 7 days. For J0100 to J0850, it's a 5-day look back. How weird is that? Just 5 days, Everything else is 7 or 14 or 30, But no, for pain, it's 5. In J1400, chronic disease, you just have to review the active clinical record, the diagnosis. On J1700A, for fall history, the look back is 1 month. For J1700B, the look back is 2 to 6 months for falls. And then for J1700C, the look back is 6 months for fractures. J1800 and 1900 is falls since the most recent entry, and your look back is admission, re-entry, prior assessment, etc. K0100 is swallowing signs and symptoms. The look back is 7 days. K0200, that's height, and that's on admission or look back to entry or re-entry. K0200B is your weight, and look back to the most recent measurement within 30 days. K0300 is compare your current weight to the weight from 30 days ago and 180 days ago. Nutritional approaches are K0520A 1, 2, 3, and 4. 1 is the first 3 days, day 1 through 3 of your PPS day. 2 is the last 7 days when you were not a resident. 3 is while you were a resident in the last 7 days. And 4 is the last 3 days of the PPS day. Section M, pressure wounds, is a 7-day look back. Section N, as in no, 7-day look back for medications. Section O, O0110A is days 1 through 3 of the SNF stay. O0110B is the last 14 days after admission. O0110C is the last 3 days of the SNF stay. And that is in Section O, again, for special treatments, programs, procedures. O0250 is look back on the beginning of the current year influenza season, and remind you, influenza goes from October 1st to March 31st. O0300 is look back as far as you can for immunization information. O0400, the look back for respiratory treatments is 7 days. 7 days for restorative nursing, which is O0500. Q0400 is the admission care plan that has a discharge plan. And remember, you cannot claim this if you do not have an active discharge plan with interventions upon admission. Thank you all for listening. Until next time, take care. We love your support. Bye for now.